how you're selling houses without freaking seeing houses, how you're doing it and you're making a great profit. Imagine if.
So my life today looks like rented realtors. I have 1,800 of them in Arizona that I rent. I have 7 virtual assistants and we sell a lot of houses and I'm only involved when I need to get involved. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm chasing. 7% net profitability, $165 a closing to sell 2,000 homes, but you're making $165. I was like, okay, this is not what I'm after. I'm sure the listeners are somewhat confused on my model. Do you want to?
Yes, I want to hear it. Yes.
Oh, hey, they're here.
What's up?
Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. You're really going to like what you're going to watch.
Yeah.
If you haven't liked it yet, you should really hit that like, subscribe button.
Like, subscribe. We're gonna get on talk, and you should probably do it with us.
And if not, we're going to get it all in your inbox.
Let's go.
Welcome back to Real Estate Untucked podcast. Today we have the man, the myth, the legend. This guy has flipped the script on real estate. Thank God. Dave Z, I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to let you say your last name several times because I'm just going to murder it. Both of you have amazing last names.
Dude, you're smart.
Right? It's terrible. Amazing. Yes. All right. Over 1,700 homes sold, 500 million in real estate transactions. Is epic, right? You are a veteran in the space, and you really sets you apart is your journey, which I'm excited to hear about and share with everybody on how you're selling houses without freaking seeing houses, without seeing like how you're doing it, and you're making a great profit. Imagine if, right? If only if there was a way. Well, you found the way. So I hope this episode breaks the internet. I hope everyone takes action on it. So let's dive into what the old model could not do, where it broke down, and then your journey to implement the new model. And this is also the place where I want to talk about what didn't work. So all of us have several, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 mistakes in our in our back closet. So let's dive in. So Dave Z, welcome to Untucked.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So I have been told it's pronounced Zajdzinski, but I don't even know if that's right.
It's funny. You see with mine, I'm like, I say Salmans, and people are like, I don't know if it's, and I'm like, I don't actually know. Like, my family was from Kansas, and Kansas is just a bunch of people that gave up. I love you all. But if you're on the wagon trail and you stop in Kansas, you're like, no, this is the place. Like, I think everyone in Kansas just gave up, 3 generations ago. So that's a whole nother story. And Andrew, welcome to being the co-host today. I Armstronged you into being here. So thank you for helping carry the torch.
Of course,
and I know that you believe in what Dave's doing as well. So it's pretty cool. So Dave, would you real quick give us a breakdown of like what does your life look like right now? And then let's go like how you got there. But like kind of give everybody, how does life look like now for you?
Yeah, good question. So I'm at home. Right. I used to have an office and a bunch of staff, and I ditched that to buy a much bigger house, give my kids a huge house, and I'm home. I have a ton of international hires, and I really have scaled my life down into just a couple hours a day of being able to sell a lot of real estate with a different model because the profitability is so high. Yeah. 5 kids, 17, 15, 13, 10, and 8. And that's where I'd like to spend my time. And I know you got your kids and gosh, the three of us know if you want to sell 50, 60 homes in a year by yourself, good luck being a real present parent. And
100%.
It's so hard. And so then you grow a team and then you're like, where's my money? Like, why is this not working? And so I'm in my 21st year, and I've been able to figure out how to really just be involved the least amount of time and still provide an amazing experience. Like that's what everybody thinks. Oh, you must provide crappy experience. No, it's the exact opposite. So my life today looks like rented realtors. I have 1,800 of them in Arizona that I rent on a contract. So they go indoors. I have 7 virtual assistants, and we sell a lot of houses, and I'm only involved when I need to get involved. And everything is done virtually. Everything's done virtually. And then that's allowed me to coach, to build courses, to travel, to recruit a lot of realtors. I love recruiting realtors and helping them and guide them. And so it's given me just massive freedom to run other businesses. Now I could have gone and sold 200, 300, 400 homes, but that's just not where my passion was.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's
well, and my guess is your profit is so much higher than, I mean, I'd bet an arm on it that your profit is so much higher than 99.9% of realtors that are selling 400 houses. Right. So,
yeah.
So before we get into, I want to get into kind of the nitty gritty of what you're doing, but what was your breaking point? Like, what was kind of the moment? What did your structure look like that you were like, not working?
Yep. So I was an accidental team leader. I think I had 40 some listings by myself. This was like 2014 or 15. And I always was selling volume. Like once I got into the business, I'm like, I got to sell a lot of houses. So somebody literally knocked on my door and was like, hey, the broker said you could use some help. And so I just started growing a team, but I didn't really seek to do that. And then I found myself like in full team mode, spending 30 grand a year to mastermind with the teams that I wanted to be like. And I was chasing this model for 3 years, building, right? Just go to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, right? KW, and put everybody in place. But I was still in production, which is what was masking the problem, right? I'm still in production, making my money. And then I find out in Cancun at a mastermind. So it was 30 grand to be there. And then that's probably 6-7 grand for the trip. I mean, it was great. I'm bougie. They were bougie. We're staying at a great resort. We're in a horse shape.
Yeah, what's up with these people that go camping? I'm like, I'm not poor anymore. Like, I don't need to go play poor on the weekend. Like, I love y'all. Like, do your thing. But like, no.
We're going to an all-inclusive resort with a butler, I think is what it was.
Absolutely.
Like,
yes.
fine, let's do it. So our spouses were there. It was great. And it was this watershed moment where we dove into P&Ls. We actually like put our P&Ls on the projector. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm chasing. 7% net profitability, $165 a closing to sell 2,000 homes, but you're making $165. I was like, okay, this is not what I'm after. Like, had I known that up front, I don't even think I would have joined the group. And they're great people, still friends. I'm not dogging them. And a lot of them had other businesses. So, that was part of the room. It was like, well, I made 2 million last year because I own a title company, I own a mortgage company, I have a coaching company, I sell courses. Like, got it. But your core business of selling real estate brings you like 180 grand. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So I have to build that to then be able to speak on stage. Oh, okay, forget it. So that was the moment for me when I really got to see behind the curtains of true profitability from very vulnerable people, because we had been together for a couple of years and we were just trying to solve the problem. Like, how do we fix our profitability? Is it a $495 transaction fee? Do we charge our agents? Like, it was just the search for what I thought was just broken from the beginning. I'm like, we're not going to fix it. It's just broken. And I declared, I'm like, I'm going to start leverage agent. And this was before.
And that's the thing, right there. So many people think that they're the broken one. They're like, man, if I just get the one more thing, or if I just do this, then it's like, no, you're set up to fail in the model you're running in the way it is. And I mean, I remember I was in a similar room years and years ago, and this one person stood up and goes, hey, we made $1 million this year on radio ads or whatever it is, right? And the facilitator of the room goes, he said, I just can't let that sit in the air. He goes, how much did you spend to make the $1 million? And you all know where I'm going, right? He's like 900 and something. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, dude at Denny's netted more than you did. And you're standing, and we see these people that stand up, beating their chest. And it's like, that sounds horrible. That sounds like a terrible freaking life. You know what I mean? Not good.
And this is no knock on Denny's, by the way.
Absolutely. By the way, I went to, where did we go the other night? The Waffle House. And I was like, this is going to be terrible. Like, it's like late night. I'm like, we're going to have the American experience, right? Y'all, it was the greatest Waffle House I've ever been to my entire life. Like, we're going back this weekend. My son's driving back to town. He's like, we're going to Waffle House. They nailed it. Anyway, Waffle House in McKinney, Texas. Great job. Freaking amazing. Feel free to sponsor.
That's a good story.
Yeah, there you go. Well, and Andrew, what's your perspective on this? Because you've seen so many people that are in the same spot that Dave was in. Or looking at.
Like, coming from a traditional team leader myself, like I totally get it. The margins are low. We try to stay around 30 to 38%. We try to stay at 38%. That's where we're going for it. But as Dave already pointed out, like it starts getting harder and harder to hit those margins, right? And it's funny because when I first met Dave, I see him on stage, and I got to tell you the story, Dave. I haven't told you this before, but me and Justin Barry were sitting there, and you're going through your model, and we both look at each other and we're like, dude, we messed up. We're like, this is so, because, Dave is an open book. He's literally showing his P&Ls. He's showing everything, right? He's sitting at, I don't remember what it was, 80-something% margin. I know we'll jump into that. But we're looking at each other and we're like passing notes to each other. We're like, dude, we're doing this wrong, right? And it wasn't just that it was like a good talking point for you. It's like what you're living, right? And so it's even taken me at pause for a little bit, because when you're sitting at 80, let's just call it 80. I know it was higher than that, Dave. And
I think it
I'm
was
sure
like, I think with that year it was like 82, 83% net.
okay, yeah, that's what I thought you had said. And so when I'm
Yeah.
looking at that, I'm like, wait, so you're telling me I can sell almost a third less homes to make the same amount of money, and with the model that you've got there, like pushing and doing a heck of a lot less. It's really eye-opening to me. It's actually ever since we've had that conversation, I've stunted the growth of my personal team a little bit, because like I'm leaning into that, going like, hey, maybe that's a model. I know we've spoken offline on this before, but maybe that's the model that needs to go. It's very interesting to me too, because of how everything is set up. It gives you a lot of freedom, and I think that's something we definitely need to be discussing here. Because that's not something that us as team leaders are necessarily getting at the same level.
Totally. And freedom was at the heart of it for me. After 17 years of grinding, I was like, and I had some freedom, but it just wasn't enough money, right? When you're like sitting back, you're doing 1.5 million of GCI running the team. And if you only bring in 20% net to the table, okay, you make 300,000, but is that enough to raise a family of 7 and travel? No, like it's just not enough. So you got to keep selling, and then you're just limited. For me, it was that word freedom. It's like, you know what? I want to be able to take 6 weeks off and just don't talk to anybody, don't show up to a team meeting, and not have to worry about what other people are doing. If I can build a team around me, right? That's the key. Is like I built a team around me to support me, not building other agents' lives, right? Now, the good news is, like Andrew, you and I are at brokerages that reward us to recruit. So I was able to actually blow that up and recruit a bunch of agents that weren't on my team. That if I was gone for 6 weeks, there's no complaints. So I kind of get the best of both worlds, right? And I still run a Zillow Flex team. So I still get to do all of it, but it's on my terms, and my personal production is what I focus on. And then I can hire agents to work my Zillow account and say, go close those homes, but I'm not going to babysit you, and I'm not going to take any of your personal production. And I think that's the new team. Is like my recruiter for my team sends our messages, join my Zillow team, take half the commission, and then keep 100% of your personal deals, and don't even show up on my Zillow profile. So I have all these agents that they're behind the scenes taking calls daily from Zillow. We split that. And then when they sell their friend's house, I don't take a dime. Like, what better team model? So if I'm only splitting this, I'm not babysitting you for your whole real estate career, right? And so we target agents that are selling 10, 12 homes. I'm like, I'll get you to 30, and you get to keep all your own personal deals. I think that's the future of real estate teams with revenue share brokerages, right? Gives us the incentive to go do that. So it's really cool when I wake up and look at where I'm at today with all of these different things that are going on, and I can still recruit and grow a team, but it's keep 100% of your deals and split ours. Like, what better team is out there, in my opinion?
Is beautiful. And I think that so much of this goes back to, if I was listening, I think the one big point here is like, begin with the end in mind. Meaning like so many teams, they haven't ever sat down. Brad Allen was here yesterday, and we were talking about how many people don't sit down and actually do the math of like, hey, where's the next plateau? Like, hey, when I get here, I have this many of this many of this. Like, is that profitable? Like, does that give me like begin with the end in mind to go like, if I hit this goal, is it actually profitable? But not just in the money sense, but also in the life sense. And it's like, what are we after? Some people are just after bigger, with no actual places they're wanting to get to. It just leads to, if I just sell 5 more houses, right? All that kind of
Recruit
devastation.
5 more agents. If I get 5
Yes.
more agents,
Yep.
it'll make it work. So I'm sure the listeners are somewhat confused on my model. Do you want to?
Yes, I want to hear it. Yes. Yeah. I've heard it like 3 times, and every time I hear it, I'm like, it's the most gorgeous, sexy thing I've ever heard. So like, you can say it 4 times in a row and I'd be happy. So
Yeah. So when I got to that moment in Cancun, I was like, all right, I'm out. I literally came home and fired everybody. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not going to have the team anymore. I love you guys. Here's your past clients. They're yours. Go call them. And a lot of them stayed at my brokerage and just went into they were my downline, and I'm like, go run your own business. And so at that moment, I had already had 2 salaried showing partners. So I started to buck the trend of hiring more agents, and I started hiring 24 and 25-year-olds with licenses, and I paid them $3,000 a month. You're going to go show all of my properties.
Yes.
So when I met with a buyer, I'd say, hey, Andrew, I'm going to help you buy, and then Wayne's going to open the doors for you. And so that's a common model. A lot of people coach on that, but I had so many constraints. People were not doing their job. They were happy taking $3,000. And then I would find them like serving tables in Scottsdale because they had COVID or they had an upset stomach and they couldn't go show on Saturday. I was like, the incentives are all wrong. Like I'm a big believer in like, show me the incentives, I'll show you the behavior. Well, I found a company, Xiaomi, become friends with the owner there. They're an amazing company. They just do it per door, per fee. So it's like, hey, do you want $50 to go open a door? And what's cool is we get our orders picked up at like a 99.9 rate. Like I can't even think of a time we haven't gotten our order picked up because Scottsdale is 1,800 of them. But if I want someone to go look at 3 houses, it's $150 to me. And that agent wants to actually do it. It's like, we're not pulling teeth. We're not telling them to skip out on their day at the lake, right? That's the problem with real estate. It's like, what are you doing tomorrow? Oh, I'm going to the zoo with my kids. No, you're not. You're going to go show houses. And so it aligns the behavior with the incentive. Like, do you just want to show 3 houses for 150 and get out? And so once I saw I had that, I fired everybody right with Xiaomi. But then the real thing, the real game changer was I basically made virtual assistants in the Philippines my agents. They act as me. They communicate as me. They're in my CRM. They are an extension of me. And so we have our system set up where when somebody says, Dave, I want to go see this home today, it could be one of 5 virtual assistants that says, hey, it's Dave. What time do you want to go see that home? And it's all handled. And the only time I get involved is to write an offer. So here's an ideal buyer client. I do a consultation. My VAs bring me to the consultation. They're texting, they're emailing, they're setting appointments for me to do a Zoom consultation. And then I do the consultation.
So first, where are the leads coming from primarily now? Like where are most of your leads coming from?
Okay, I have 1,700 past clients. So we obviously hit that pretty hard.
Yep.
I do a weekly video, weekly emails to my database. And then, gosh, I think when I started this, I had 44,000 internet leads sitting in a pond that nobody was willing to call. Like, Andrew, how many times we were
talking about that 8 seconds ago. We were talking about 45 minutes ago, Andrew. We're having that conversation.
Well, if you're not going to call them, how about I get a $4 an hour VA and a $10 bonus if they set me an appointment? And guess what? They will. And they do. So we just had this overflow of all these leads. And then I love portals, Zillow, HomeLight, Ojo, OpCity, anything that has a back-end referral fee that they can connect me directly so I can be on the road and my phone rings. Great. Oh, it's a 35% back-end referral fee. Amazing. Awesome. So I'm a big fan of those. But the bulk of those leads came from Google pay-per-click. I started my career on internet pay-per-click leads. So we just have a very robust system to convert them with AI automation. And then just somebody needs to respond when they say, oh, we're looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath. Boom. They just put it back on my plate. I can jump in. So the VAs kind of just organize my day for me and say, hey, these are all the responses that we took care of, but you need to take care of these.
Yes.
So in an hour or two, Wayne, you can just jump in and knock out all and convert those to appointments. So
100 emails and a 300 this and everything else. They're going, boop. All right, here we took care of 95% of it. Here's the 6 calls. Here's the 2 texts or whatever that is. And
totally.
Beautiful.
Yep. It's like walking into any professional office where you have an assistant. It's like, here's your day today. This is what you need to do. So they really streamlined that for me, organized my database. And they send out homes every day. Every day. Can you imagine having 4 or 5 VAs saying, Andrew, what do you think about this home? I think this one will work for you. So they're pushing the envelope of taking a screenshot of the home, putting the screenshot into the text with a link to the home. Do you want to go see this home today? Does this home fit what we're talking about? So we just are very proactive doing that. So I go to the meeting, tell them how it's going to work, have a very good online buyer presentation. Does this work? Yep, it works. And then I'm basically out. They get instructions on how to book a showing on my website. I have a 2-minute video. When you're ready to see a home, book it online. And it's like an Uber. They say, I want to see this home at 2:00 tomorrow. VA immediately responds, is that the only home? Nope, I'm going to be sending you 4 of them. Great. Let me know when you're all done. They then go into the MLS. They schedule the showings. They go to Xiaomi. They find the agent. They go back to the client and say, Sarah's going to meet you at 2:00 tomorrow at this property. Call me when you're done. And it's me, but it's not me. It's coming from my phone number. So my clients don't know I have all these VAs like working for me. Like I was just in Maine. I was on a sailboat for a day I'm trying to learn how to sail. And we had 2 buyers get booked by my VAs while I'm in Maine on a boat. And they work or you fire them. Where if your agents don't work, what are you going to do? Like, come on, let me drag you across the finish line. Let me coach you up. Like, are these goals important to you? Do you really want, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like, hey, you didn't respond and you're not doing your work, you're fired. So it's a totally different atmosphere. You have employees, not agents that you're
Yes,
pulling
you're
teeth
building
on.
a business, not a quote unquote team. And I'm so tired of teams. Yes, absolutely. Yep.
So then
Beautiful.
once we get into like showing houses, if they like a house, the VA runs a CMA and they're highly skilled at doing comps. So I had a buyer that closed when I was in Asia visiting my VAs, and I'm on a 14-hour time change. I wake up and I have all the messages ready to go. It's like, Sarah's the listing agent. This is her phone number. We've already talked to her. She knows you're going to be calling. These are the comps, and the buyer's ready to go. So I pull it up. Like, yeah, comps look good. Kind of refine it a little bit. Click dial. It's already in my Slack. Call the agent. Hey, I know you talked to somebody on my staff and John showed the house and we're ready to write an offer. Hey, these guys seem a little bit overpriced. Zip. Oh, I told the sellers we were overpriced and, they need to come down 30 grand. I'm like, all right, perfect. So then I call my client. Hey, I can get you this home 30 grand under list price. They're really? Oh yeah. That'd be amazing. Then I take about 90 seconds. I get on my phone. I film a video. The earnest deposit, down payment, boom, 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 boom. About 10 minutes later, there's an offer in my inbox. I audit it. Hey, you left out the refrigerator, send it back. Yep, looks good. Send for signatures. You're out. Then the VAs and the TC are going to manage it from there, and you'll jump back in when it's time for inspections. I never go to the property ever. They know I'm not going to go there. And I just set it up, Wayne, where it's like, this is for your benefit. Don't have a commission realtor at your property inspection. It's a horrible idea. It's like having a dealer salesman do the wrap up with the mechanic. When the mechanic's trying to tell you all the problems, the salesman's like, no, we'll duct tape that. So I really throw the industry against itself to my consumer. And they're like, you don't want me there. Ask the inspector if you should cancel. And he's not looking around their shoulder for me. And then at the final walkthrough, who better to be there than the inspector to inspect the stuff that was done? So you just remove yourself from the physical part of the job and you put the right people there and it serves them better. So two things can exist at the same time. I don't want to be there and it's better for the client. Yeah. And I'm not sure which one I lean on more. I think it's, I don't want to be there, but I know it's better for the client, right?
Yeah, I haven't
gosh,
attended
yeah.
one since my first year in, and I agree with that 200%. I think it's a waste of time. But what you've done here is you've like kind of built the entire business as like a doctor's office, right? I started seeing a chiropractor right after I saw you, and he ran it the same way. We came in, you had to do a consultation with him, a group full of folks. He's doing it. I don't see him again until I'm getting adjusted. There's a back end person. There's a person that sets me up for him, very similar to what's happening to you. And I think that's just so interesting. It makes it a lot more efficient too, and gives you back a ton of your time.
Yep. Yeah, it's better.
So-
Consumer wants. I really just think they
Yes.
want it, but they don't know how to ask for it. And realtors can't see their value outside of being.
And realtors are so ridiculous. I have to see the house. I have to, their egos are through the roof and it's just stupidity. What are the top 3 systems you're using to facilitate all the communication and database? Like, what are the systems you recommend to people right now?
Yeah, well, I like Slack for
Okay.
instant communication with my VAs. And that's, so instead of me living in a CRM, I live in Slack. Client text something, hey, I want to go do this. If they know how to respond, they do. If they don't, they screenshot it and give me a link. So a lot of times I just look at that screenshot and I hate typing. I don't know if it's because I'm 48 now and I'm lazy or what.
Talk and video. Yeah, absolutely.
So how cool is it when you just like, you get out of something like my phone's on mute right now, right? While we're on this, but I'll get out, I'll go into Slack and then I'll just audio. Hey, for this one, say this, for this one, do this. And I don't even have to click on it anymore and just send it back. And so you just get to that point where you're in the car and I just turn on the audio and say, would you do this? Would you do that? And could I log into my CRM on my phone? Sure. But no way. I just like speaking to it. So Slack. And then we have a Zapier, a Zap between our CRM and Slack. So everything that happens in the CRM goes into Slack. And then we can see it, all client responses. So then I have 6 VAs in one Slack channel. So it's like, we don't know who's on or who's off. Like I'll demo a buyer to a client, like a realtor client that I'm a coach. Like, look at this buyer. They had 6 VAs texting them through the whole transaction with 6 separate VAs. And it just seemed like it was me and seamless the whole way through.
And people are like, well, they're not going to know what's going on. Or like, how is a VA going to know what's going on with my client? Like, I guarantee you have better records and better pulse than the individual agent who's trying to just remember what Sarah told them 4 months ago when they were walking through that duplex. You know what I mean? It's just so. I got two more questions. I'm going to let Andrew. I know he's dying to ask a couple. What would you tell? Could someone do your system without starting with a big database? Like, could they do that without
Yeah.
already having a name and a face out there at the level you do? Like, how would
Yes.
you do that?
Yes, you can do that. I have a coaching client. He's been with me a year. And if you go to his Zillow profile, he's like 24 sales. He has 30 active listings. 30 active listings right now. And the last 12 months, he only closed 24. We started from scratch.
And
So
where did he get them? What did he do that was the best?
same thing. We went after all the portal leads. We're going to sign up for everybody. Get portal
Yep.
leads, do
Yep.
that, buy some internet leads, build lists, build your database. And this is where people lose interest. Okay. This sounds amazing until you find out really what you have to do. Like I talked to an agent for an hour yesterday and I was like, no, you're not going to do any of that stuff. You're going to prospect. I said, well, I want to hire a VA to prospect for me. Oh, I'm sure you do. No, you're going to prospect and you're not going to go to showings. You're not going to arrange your showings. You're not going to write your contracts. And so many people want to skip right to, I want a team of dialers. Okay.
Absolutely.
The first thing I asked for, and it's crazy.
First thing.
Crazy, right?
4 steps.
Yep. I'm like, nope. And he just said, okay, I'm going to do it. And his non-negotiable, like 90% of our coaching guys is, did you do your 2 hours today? And if you didn't, we don't move on. Like we are going to stay there. And it's been a year. And if you ask him what we talk about on a weekly basis, more than anything, is like trying to understand why you didn't get your 2 hours. Just be honest with me. Do you hate it? No, I love it. What's getting in the way? So we just kept auditing every week what was getting in the way of his 2 hours. And then we hired for that. Okay, so why is that still getting in the way? We need a person there. And so I think he now has 4 VAs so he can just stay on that 2 hours a day. And these aren't, if he has a,
But that's stuff people want to get away with, right? They want so hard to get away from that. And they're willing to waste their entire lives doing all this stuff. It's like, that's the thing. And just do that, you get everything else. But yeah, they want, it's like, what's the thing you're avoiding is probably where the biggest opportunity is.
I've had people run my model for 2 years and then quit. And they're like, dude, I made so much money, but I'm not doing this anymore. I want to go to a house. I want to go to a walkthrough. Like, I just want to go to coffee with somebody, right? It's a prison cell of sitting in your chair and making money. And that's not for the faint of heart. But if you want to make a lot of money,
you got to come to terms. And I think it was Gary Keller that said that years ago. He goes, you got to come to terms with some of the boredom. In every job, there's going to be some of it that's going to be boring. You just got to come to terms with it and just do that piece.
This is all boring. And then you can have fun with your kids. You can travel.
And then you got to go to Italy and do all the other great, amazing things. Yes. Okay. Last question I have. Well, not last, but I'll let Andrew jump in with one or two. What is the biggest pushback you get from agents? Or in other words, it's like, what's the one or two things you wish you could help agents like change their mindset on, I guess? Or like they have this belief. I wish I could change that to this belief. What is that?
I would say it's something we just talked about. It's the prospecting, and it is the belief that they've got to be physically present, physically involved, and that somehow they're special coming into the house. And my belief is buyers don't want us in the house. And I think if we pooled our friends, family, people we've helped, I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've asked, like as I was building this model, we'd be at a baseball game with one of our kids. And I asked the parents, hey, I do real estate. Let me ask you, would you prefer to see a house without a realtor? They're like, oh God, I wish you would just stay in the car. Like you guys just like come in and it's like, and what's funny is like my wife, I think our non-real estate like spouses have a better take on the market than we do. So like my wife and I, we bought this home 2 years ago. This is our 9th house. She has never stepped foot in a house with a realtor. Just me and her, husband and wife, on our terms when we want to go. And she's like, I could not imagine doing this with some other person who have to meet them there. And like, she's kind of introverted and
it's just not that great. I don't even want to see my doctor.
Right.
Like I legitimately don't. Like we do most of our stuff over whatever it is. Like I have to go see him for 5 minutes once a year, whatever it is. But like, I don't want to see him. Right. And I'm happy to pay him more to not see him.
Right.
I agree with
Right.
that.
And it's the same thing with agents. Like they want the result. You so overestimate what you're actually bringing to the table. Focus on the result. And is this better for the consumer? Does this make their day more enjoyable? It's got to go back to that. Anyway, Andrew, I'll let you jump in for a minute.
Yeah,
What
man.
do you got?
While we're on this subject, for agents that are listening right now that are thinking, all right, this sounds kind of cool. What are some practical tips you'd give an agent that wants to start going into this hybrid, virtual model?
Yeah. Step one, get a great online presentation. Have a very good online presentation. So when you can meet somebody and they say, I'm thinking about buying a home, instead of saying, let's go grab a coffee, let's go meet at a house, come into my office, jump on a quick Zoom. I want to show you how to win in this market right now. I want to show you how my buyers are really winning. I want to share some stats with you. So become like, if you want to do that model, go to Zoom. Like guys, I'm listing a house today. I did a 16-minute video presentation to her. I don't even do Zoom meetings anymore. When I hear a seller that wants to sell, right, she called me while I was in Maine. One of my appointment setters got her. And I said, oh, your home didn't sell. It was an expired listing. I'm so sorry to hear that. Would it be helpful if I filmed a quick video and showed you why your home didn't sell, what it would need to sell for, what the absorption rate is, how many buyers buy a home like yours, what your odds of selling are, and what my commission packages are? Would that be helpful? I filmed a 16-minute video. Then I uploaded that transcription into ChatGPT, wrote me a beautiful email, sent it to her. I can show you guys the response. She texted me back, watched your video. I want to go with your 3.5% listing package.
Do you think people
Dude,
are
I didn't
over
even meet her.
relying on their charisma because they're not that good?
Probably.
And that's why they're doing it.
Systems. And let's be honest, your average realtor is like working mostly with people that they know. So there's kind of this friendly situation. But I mean, I've been on with 1,700 units, you're closing internet leads. So I'm removing the friction. Let's just call it what it is. I remove the friction from the process. Go see homes when you want to see it. Super Bowl Sunday, New Year's Eve, go see it when you want to see it. Don't rely on me. And then I'm that expert negotiator. And that's what they want. What do clients want? No friction and someone who's really good at what they do. And when you're not really good at what you do, guess what you have to do? You have to like go out and show them the house and like you have no value. I think that's the problem, Wayne, is we
So your
don't have
values, I really got to get them to like me. I really got to get them to like me. And then
Yeah.
maybe they'll look past the fact that I
If
don't
they
actually
Google
know what
me,
the hell I'm
oh my
doing.
gosh, if they go to Zillow and look me up, I'm done for. Right. So where people crush it with my model is when they have a Zillow profile that has, 1,000 sales on it and a bunch of reviews. And so if your value is opening a door, that's what you have to keep doing. And that's not my value. And I don't think that should be our value. But you got to start somewhere. And I think real estate is going to reflect, typical wages and typical growths in typical industries. You start out on the bottom. And the fact that a new agent can make the same commission than the three of us, come on, that's silly. That's like Kobe. That's like
So weird.
LeBron James' son making the same as him. Like, no, you have to start out. And so I think there is a progression and there's a self-confidence that you lack when you're new and you don't have the value. And that's okay. That's why it's Zajdzinski and Associates. Like you got to put your name on the building and you have to earn your right to be the partner of the law firm. Right. And so I recognize that when someone's new, so if someone's new and they want to dabble in it, here's what I would say. Adopt the model of a hybrid, meet them at the property, do those first couple of showings, and then introduce that you have team members and use a company like Shawami. And now they think you're kind of a bigger deal and it's not a handover. This is part of my process. Now that I've seen some homes with you, we've gotten to meet each other. I want to introduce you to some of my staff members and team members that are going to help you, is opening up the doors on some of these showings. And that's how I would start because leverage costs money. So I have agents that I coach who are like, why didn't you show me that? They're like, dude, it would have been $300. I don't have $300. Like, okay. Yeah. Leverage costs money. So I would just start to sprinkle it in and get used to not showing, or not showing all of them. Right. And if you can get rid of 50% of your showings, what would that do in your day? But then go prospect with that time. And that's what agents won't do. They won't
That's
prospect.
what they want. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They're like, I can afford. Yeah, absolutely. Where can people go to take your course where you walk them through how to do this? Where can they go get that?
Yeah. They can go to leverageagent.org, leverageagent.org. And my course isn't on there, but that's the best way to ask for it. And I've got different options. And what I did is I took 6 weeks of my life and I did a live course with agents and I went through the math, the mindset. I go through my P&L, the same one I shared with Andrew, where it was like $1.1 million of commission and I kept 900,000 of it. But like, okay, this is why we do this. This is where my money goes. These are my systems. So my whole tech stack. And then we go into how to transact remotely. I have a 72-step buyer process file with SOP, standard operating procedures, videos, checklists. It's great for agents and VAs to go through. Then we go into how to convert, how to lead gen, how to like what my presentations are. I demo my listing presentation, my buyer presentation, then I give you a copy of the slides. And then the final week is how to get past clients and follow-ups. And all of this is done using VAs. So it's a 6-week course with a ton of operating procedures. So I sell that course and had a lot of agents just watch it, do it, and implement it. So it's a
Go
DIY.
copy and paste. Like you're the proof. Like just go copy and paste the thing. It really is that simple.
Agents are so good at R&D, and you've added something. And I think that's part of the problem that we got here in the first place is we're so good at ripping off and duplicating that
Yeah.
we've just been doing that forever. And one thing that I love that you did or are doing right now, Dave, is you took the thing that we're always talking about in real estate. Give the consumer what they want, not what we want, not all of these things that we do, we're doing it because we like it. It's because that's what the industry told us. But you strip that away and went, what does a consumer want? They want less friction. They want to get into the home without having to fight and work around your schedule. They want to do it on their time, and they want an easy, smooth process. They're getting it everywhere else.
Right.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay. A couple of rapid fire things. Who would be your first 2 VAs
Yeah.
for a typical agent?
So I have a video actually on my website of your first 5 hires. I'm still a believer that you should have an American-based licensed transaction coordinator. I'm sorry. I still believe in that. And then after that, have an executive assistant, have that person that's going to be in your emails and they can do everything for you. Just get that EA, that executive assistant. And then after that, get 2 CRM database managers. Their sole job is to go through your database, make sure everyone's on a plan, make sure everything has a CMA once a year, make sure they're responding in real time. Love on them. And then I have a video marketing person that does all my videos, my social media and posts. And then I have 2 appointment setters. That's all they do are set appointments. So they're different from the CRM manager. The CRM manager is still setting appointments, but my appointment setters, those are like ISAs. They're just focused on email, text, and phone call. And so I think that's the right sequence: EA, TC, EA, CRM, and then a marketing person at that point. And then once you're ready to replace yourself in sales, go get some appointment setters. But I still set appointments, right? So
absolutely. That's the last thing to give away. The last. Yeah. All right. What is, besides maybe some of the team stuff, what's the biggest mistake or most costly mistake? This Untuck's all about like, where do we fuck up? So what was the biggest mistake you've made in the last 20 years?
Oh, it was, watching a buyer's agent make $300,000 net when 88% of the closings were my leads.
God, I felt that one.
It's like, what if you could hire somebody for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year on salary, so you can say this, do this, instead of the math. All right, for both of you, what's different about real estate? What's the future? What's different a year from now? What are you both kind of looking at or seeing on the horizon that people need to maybe pay attention to?
For me, AI has been a huge game changer. We didn't even talk about that, but what we're doing with AI is all of my calls are recorded. And here's what's cool. As soon as the recording is done, the VA uploads it into a custom bot that I built that's based on like 1,000 hours of ISAs, all of my CRMs. It like has the instruction manuals, and they just hit go. And dude, guys, it spits out a whole workflow. It spits out the text message, the email. It coaches me, tells me what I did right, what I did wrong, what my talk time was, how many filler words I used, where I missed opportunities. And it just summarizes it. And now that buyer's agent or that VA acts like a buyer's agent. Then it goes into a Trello checklist. And it just says, do this, in the CRM, do this, send this text message out. And so the volume that agents are going to be able to do with AI, just from simply, and these CRMs are going to have them built in, like they're already moving that way. But I think AI will empower agents to sell a ton of houses, not replace agents. I think that's the biggest one. And I think commission will come down because of that. Like, honestly, if you look at my net profitability, would I come down 20% net and to say, yeah, I can still sell more. Yeah. So I think that's the 2 things for me: commission compression a little bit, and AI is assisting agents.
What's the top 2 or 3 AI tools that you recommend people go check out or you're using it?
I mean, we're just still on ChatGPT, but the key for me, and I taught a class on this, is don't think of AI as an AI, think of it as an employee and put custom manuals in there. So let's say you use
So
follow
you're
up.
training my GPTs in ChatGPT and doing it that way. Yep. And
Yeah.
then you're
So,
having your calls recorded. And then, yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Dude, that's been a game changer for me.
you know,
It's saved even more time than we're already saving.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think the AI thing, that's one of them that I would put on there for sure. I also think this whole data battle that's going on right now, I think is overlooked by a lot of agents. You know, Zillow and Redfin and you know just everybody grabbing all of this data. I think I honestly believe in about 48 months from now, our job's going to look considerably different because of the two, not because of one, but because of both. As Dave said, the AI, using it as your partner, using it as an assistant instead of as Google, which is what most people are using it for, will absolutely change the game. I think it will get rid of a lot of real estate agent jobs. So I do just, you know, I do kind of think it's going to go that direction, but not because the transactions aren't going to be there or anything else. It's just going to make the better agents even better. And they're going to be able to grab larger market share. I think it's going to get a lot harder over the next 2 years for individual agents that are trying to do it the old way. Or, you know, I hate even saying that because there's a lot of old way things that will work very, very well. But I think it's just going to be able to allow us to grab so much more market share. And the person that's utilizing those things is gonna grab that share, I think.
And for you, what would be an example of that? Like yeah, on the street, like how would that actually, yeah, what's that going to look like?
Well, just having one person to be able to, you know, let me use an example like Dave was just saying, right? He's got 6 or 7 people that might be touching these leads at any given time, right? Now, 2 years from now, it's going to be an AI bot doing so much of that heavy lifting. And then it's going to switch from the VAs a little bit, moving into, hey, Dave, you've got an appointment. Dave, call this person. Here are the 6 out of the 200 we contacted today that you need to go with. AI is going to do the bulk of the heavy lifting for the VA. The VA is going to get those 6. And it's
yes.
just going to kind of move down the pipeline a little bit. And then it's going to free up those VAs to do even more things, which will provide a
Yeah.
better service for the consumer, I think. And then
100%.
from there, it's going to. And then when we're talking about the portals and the information and everything, think about when you go to the doctor's office, what have you. You've got a portal, right? You know, Wayne, you were just talking about like, hey, we're doing the teleworking thing with it. And when you log into your thing, you've got everything in there, all patient records, everything you've ever done. Real estate agents aren't doing that. We have so many systems. We got dot loop over here, you know, e-signature and a CRM and just
Yeah.
insert all of the different systems. And you look through my LastPass account, which holds all of my passwords. We have to have 100 different things that we're touching at any given time. So, you know, that's going to all get compressed into one thing, whether it's a CRM that does it or whether it's some other information platform that's going to do it. But it's going to provide that extra level of service, I think, to the consumer that they need, right? It's cool
Well,
to give them.
agents have a hard time getting the buyer they just met into their database, just their freaking name in there, let alone what Dave just talked about, right? So Dave had the same conversation, and then 100 things happened, right? I mean that's the beauty.
Yeah.
So
I
that
mean, it's so different, right? I did a buyer consult after like a massage. I have a bad back and shoulder. I tore my shoulder last time I saw you guys, and that was August at Justin's house. So still working on a slap tear and a rotator cuff tear, playing pool volleyball. So I'm like, I got to go get these things massaged out. And buyer consult was set up. It was a 15-minute call in the car. And dude, I mean, imagine having a first time buyer consult, but it's recorded in your CRM. That's step one. Get off your personal cell phone. By the time I got home, if I showed you guys the emails that were crafted by the VA that were unbelievable, like buyer's agents couldn't do it because the ChatGPT did it. Hey, Andrew, meet the lender. They're worried about this is what they're looking for. Their first time home buyer. They want to make sure they have a no credit pull, like soft pull on their credit. And this is what we're looking for. These are your next steps. And it was done like 10 minutes after, 20 minutes after the call was concluded. It was spitting out the workflow. Like, come on, like the volume and just the ease. And it is like a doctor's office, right? It's a doctor's office, and you don't need 18 doctors on your team. You need one doctor and a bunch of nurses and staff. And so it is coming. And Andrew, you're 100% right. Like I have to be on Follow Up Boss for Zillow, and they're just collecting all of our data, and they want me to dump my whole database in there. I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep, like it's the data grab. And yeah, I don't think we're ever going to go away, but I think the compensation will come down sooner than we probably want. And Zillow wants that. I mean, I could tell you being on Zillow Flex for 6 years, we've heard their CEO say, we all mutually should want cost to come down, because what if you could get paid 7 times per client instead of 3 times per client? So let's cut our commissions in half and let people move more often. Like now the average time people move is 10 years. Well, what if they can move every 3 years because the fees were less? And I don't think that's actually a bad thing. And if it's an easier thing to do and you have the consumers a little bit more involved in doing some of the heavier lifting, I think they would do that. Like you're going to fill out the listing paperwork. You're going to fill out the input form. You're going to do it all online and you're going to participate in this. And that's why the fees are a little bit less. So I think
I totally agree. Totally agree.
I got to ask you, Dave, just because we were just talking about, going to the massage parlor and everything happened, on your way back. I know you travel a whole bunch, with the model that you've got. I've got to ask, like, what is the most interesting place you've done a consultation in?
Poolside in Phuket, Thailand.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was oceanside, poolside, at a beautiful place that was like $29 a night. And it was like 4 seasons. Yeah, that was interesting.
All right, rapid fire questions.
I've done a couple in Disneyland, but
there you go.
Thailand was fun.
Okay, rapid fire questions. Mountain or beaches?
Beaches.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, your favorite tech tool?
Favorite tech tool, Slack. Even though it's boring,
Awesome.
Slack.
Book you recommend to most people?
Buy Back Your Time, Dan Martell.
Absolutely. There you go. All right, if you could, what's the one thing you haven't figured out how to outsource and you would love to never do again?
Prospecting.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
I mean, you can do it, but not to the level we need it done.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. All right, best class or training you've taken the last couple of years?
Best class or training? Probably, honestly, inside of Sphere Rocket with Moose, like just how to build a better sales organization, which I know isn't really a training, but he helped me really break down how to really set appointments and right. And having a phenomenal system versus phenomenal talent and how that wins and really how to build that system. And so just like
he said something so good the other day. We interviewed him the other day. And he said, I asked myself if I had to build a business not reliant on where I knew I wasn't going to ever find talent, how would I build that business? He said some sort of way like that. Like if I wasn't relying on talent, how would I need to build it? Very, very interesting. It was great.
Yeah, it helped me understand, like, you got to have the right message, the right marketing, the right deliverability. Then anybody, like, think of it as like warfare. Like, instead of being a Green Beret can go take out a bunch of people. But could you hand like an 18-year-old a knife and then you just like nuke the bomb and rain in bomb fire and he just walks in and kills the last people that are surviving? Like, that's kind of how I see Moose and like building. When everything is done right, anybody can set appointments, and that takes marketing and messaging.
So good.
And that's what we built.
What's the one word you want to describe how you live for the next 10 years?
Freedom. Like location freedom, time freedom.
Yeah.
I want freedom.
So good. So, well, you freaking crushed it. All right, Andrew, any final questions you want to ask? I know we both have like 400.
I do have one. If you decided to step out of your current role, Dave, how do you do it? Like, what's the next step for Leverage Agent?
It's a 25% commission person. So I'll keep 75, they'll keep 25, and that's probably coming sooner than later. But it is, hey, agent, you're going to get, my camera turned off. Hold on.
Right during the juicy part.
I know, right? Well, it died.
That's what we get people to subscribe. Like, hey, if you, for $9.99, you can hear the rest of the podcast.
But you can hear me, right? No,
yeah.
Anyways, it is, I have appointments. I have this system. You just need to go to the sales calls and you're going to make 25% of the commission.
Yeah. So good.
20%. And you can get that done.
I love that. Because the reason I ask that too is because so many people are going to look at this, at least, people that are like me, like I got into team leadership because I want to get out. Like I caused a problem so that I could get out of the problem. And so having that end goal in mind for some of the agents, I think will be super helpful.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. Well, dude,
sorry, my camera died, even though I'm plugged in.
You're great. That's how we actually end every podcast. It's perfect. No, dude, I just want to say thank you for 2 things. First off, thank you for giving us some renewed hope in real estate on like, hey, there is a new way to do this in a beautiful way that actually freaking works. And I'm so grateful for your transparency and willing to just be like, hey, here's what's working. Like, just go do this. And I think there's so many people that you are the exact opposite of a gatekeeper. Like, you are so willing to break it down, walk anybody through it, and then give out the exact path to do it. So I'm incredibly grateful for you doing that, because I think that every single person, as a dad myself, I mean, like, every person that implements this can have the life that they actually want to have. Like, why'd you get into real estate in the first place? Because I wanted money and freedom. Cool. How's that working out? For most people, it's like, it's not. It's like, cool, this actually does it. So thank you for being an open book and being transparent on it.
You bet. No, man, thanks for having me on. Let's spread the word.